What if someone has spent 3 years working with NASA, going in the G-force spinning machine and going in the Vomit Comet and learning about, I don't know, orbits and fuel burns and stuff like that. And their name is on the list to go around to the dark side of the moon in a year. Are they not an astronaut yet?
Before you go to space, you're just a nerd. And then you get to like, you go past our friggin' atmosphere or whatever, and it's like, oh, he's a hero. He's an astronaut. But up until that point, it's like, he's a nerd with a weird gym membership.
Disturbing the peace with some peace of mind. Sleeping in jeans, I'ma need a night. OD on the cheap advice. OC on the cheapest flight. Lately I've been on the move trying to get to something. But I told her I've been running just to see the sights.
Notice anything different?
I do notice something different. I was going to ask. Whoa. Remote controlled RGB?
Did they do something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how other podcasts, since it's an audio format, have soundboards?
Mm-hmm.
I thought the best thing for a podcast would be custom lights. So that when I'm happy, I could make it green.
That's brilliant.
And then when I'm mad, I could make it red.
And every time you do it, I'll have to say, for the audio listeners, Schafer's light in the background just went green, and then it went back to red. Oh, and now it's blue.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. And am I right that that's just like a random Home Depot light fixture back there? That doesn't really look like a video light.
Yeah, no, I replaced all the light bulbs in my house with those aperture ones that you can control, like the color temperature. Yeah, they're made for practicals, so you can like turn them down and change the color temperature and everything. So they're actually super sick, and I'm obsessed with them now. And so I got one, and I was like, well, guess I'm going to get as many as I need now because they're so sick. So when I walk in, I have all these presets, so I can set it to reading mode at my house. Ooh. And then I can set it to like, filming mode at my, it's sick.
Oh, that's brilliant. Wow. Mm-hmm. So cool. And they're not battery powered? They run off, well, do they have a battery?
They have a battery in them. So you can take, if you have a lamp on a set or whatever, and there's nowhere to plug it in, you can just put them in and turn them on. And they have, I think like an hour battery. But then if you just screw them into a normal fixture, then they get powered by the fixture and charge.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I have never heard of them, but they're the best thing Aperture makes, I think.
I've heard of them and I've seen them. And when I saw them, I was like, oh, those look really cool. And then I just never even thought of them till now, to the point where I even bought just some random smart bulbs when I should have been going with those this whole time. That's brilliant.
It's kind of funny. I was like laughing because I was like, dang, these are so sick. And if they marketed them as other than video lights, if they just marketed them as like the sickest smart bulbs, they would sell like hotcakes, which is super funny.
Light bulb with a battery, and it's a crazy idea.
I know.
Man, just, I don't know. I guess just add that to the endless list of things that you do that I copy.
Dude, well, the only reason I did it is because I was trying to defeat the tax man, so...
man. Yeah.
I didn't need them, but
I blew it and missed out on my window to go on a tax shopping spree.
It was a good day, and look at me, and it made me feel happy.
For the audio listener, Schafer's light bulb turned green. Is green really happy? Isn't green the color of envy?
Oh yeah.
And
what's
also,
happy? Oh, here we go.
Why is that?
I love you, Jake.
Oh, money.
Now it's pink. What's black?
Off?
Oh, that's just fill in the blank. Shut up. Yeah, and then what I'll probably do is I'll put one outside my house, and then I'll have recording mode, so there's a red light outside my house, so... people know not to come in.
Dude, that's sick. Wow. That's so smart. I love it. Man.
Well, we'll start things off with a digital high five, and I'll set it to red mode because Jake uploaded a sick video today called R.
Oh, yeah.
No reason it's called R. No, People don't know yet, I guess.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, they'll all be out. So they'll know.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, so today was R, tomorrow's G, and the day after will be B.
So I even need to tell the audio listener at this point what you're doing? I'm pretty sure that the audio listeners can put 2 and 2 together and know what you're doing right now.
But let's talk about R for a second.
Oh, man.
It was sick. I was so sick. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I feel like I could have I feel like I could have a conversation about specific shots that might not be nearly as podcast friendly. So maybe I'll save that for another time. But all you need to know, my dear listener, is it was sick.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. That's always my favorite type of video to make every year. 'Cause it's so fun to like go through and look at what I've shot over the year. And I don't know, I just really enjoy that every year. It's one of those videos that's just fully for me. When I make a year recap. And yeah, this year I was stoked to kind of have like a little more story in my head of splitting it up into this 3-part series and like have a story in my head, but still at the end of the day, it's just like, I just want to make videos that are really fun to make. If people get the loose story, great. If they don't, that's also fine. But yeah, it's been super fun. Just a fun little, I don't know. It's fun to just get to fully edit something selfishly, you know? Not have to talk in the video, not have to add any value or anything.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a luxury for sure. And probably a little bit of a once a year kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was like blown away that it's only 1 out of 3 is out right now. 'Cause the first one was like far beyond my expectations. So,
thanks, man.
Dude, I just keep looking at my clock. Like, is it tomorrow yet?
Thanks, man. Well, I definitely put the most work into R, so don't worry. It's all downhill from here. It's just going to be 2 more disappointments after today.
Oh man, I'm sold.
But yeah. Cause I started working on R and I was going back and forth. I was like, man, do I just make this a year recap video or do I make it just R? So anyway, I put a bunch of time into R and then G and B. Literally after we're done recording this podcast, I have a lot more editing to do on G, and then tomorrow I got to finish B. So it's,
my God, I would have waited till I friggin' finished to do that. But
yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. I was going to say, I have always been so impressed that you will have a video done like 4 or 5 days before you post it. I don't think I've ever posted a video and not been working on it until like 2 or 3 a.m. the day before it goes live.
Dang, I'm big camp on it vibes. 'Cause also that gives you a chance to like hate it enough that by the time you upload it, you don't feel bad when it bombs.
That's one reason.
Yeah, I hated that. I've hated that video for 5 days now.
Well, I should take that advice just because the amount of times I've been delusional finishing a video at 3 or 4 a.m. and then posting it and then seeing it the next day, realizing some massive mistake I made, or realizing that the colors are horrible because it was too late and I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But for some reason, I just have to do it that way. I have to be like, it's going up tomorrow, whether you like it or not. So you better finish. Otherwise I'll just endlessly tinker.
Dang. Well, I also have a higher tier on my channel membership that makes it so people get videos early. So I feel like if I don't get it done like semi like early, then I'm sort of like ripping some people off. But usually that's like 2 days before. So
but I feel like you had them done early even before you had membership. I feel like you've always been good at.
Yeah. I don't think I've never done the thing where like I finish a video and then upload it like the next day. I don't think I've ever done that. I think it's as much a part of the process as to let it sit for a couple days and see if I still like it. But I don't know, maybe that's self-destructive because I end up not liking it pretty much always. So I don't know.
Man, I certainly see pros and cons to both. And
Yeah, that's true.
Now I'm mildly regretting not even being done with the video that I have to finish editing tonight. But hey, that's the way it goes.
Good. That's just what I want. This podcast is all about how can we make Jake feel regret.
I knew it.
I started by complimenting your video and we ended with you feeling regretful about making them at all.
Yeah, perfect. I knew it was all
That's not what I wanted.
Well, enough of all of the light talk and practical discussion and YouTube discussion. I feel like we should dive into what the people are really here for. And that's space news.
Space news. Dang, back-to-back space news?
Yeah, there's been some big developments this week in Space News Corner.
I'm very curious. Blue is for curious. Sorry.
This week in space news, the patriarchy is back at it bigger than ever before, dude.
They kicked the girl off.
I mean, if you thought the moon landing conspiracies were big, now it's getting juicy. They didn't kick the girl off of the mission, but
of the dark side of the moon train.
Of the dark side of the moon sightseeing loop.
Yeah.
But turns out Lockheed Martin is conveniently having battery issues after some vibration tests. So the moon mission is delayed until further notice, or that one is at least.
Oh my gosh. What a convenient
first they said,
development.
Yeah, we'll take you to the moon. And then they said, actually, maybe we should just go around the moon. And now they're saying, yeah, we vibrated the battery and it's not looking good.
I don't know. You try. Look, vibrate the battery. You see what happens.
You want to go there with a bad battery? You go for it. We're staying down here.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, wow. That's great. They're totally gaslighting them too. They're like, oh yeah, like the moon. Yeah, you'll be on the moon. We never said you'd be on the moon. We said you'd see on the moon. We never said you were going to the moon at all.
Yeah. And
poor lady.
It turns out this was like
get her on this podcast.
We should. Oh, that's a good idea. That'd be sick.
The astronaut to be. If anyone has any connections to the astronaut to be.
Yeah. And also, if an astronaut spent their time on our podcast, I would have serious concerns about our space programs.
Yeah, for real. Also, it'd just be funny because like it wouldn't be interviewing an astronaut, it's interviewing someone who might possibly get to be an astronaut. So it would be exactly how we talk about movies. It would be like, so what do you think the moon's like?
Do you have to go to space to be an astronaut?
I think so. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any astronauts who are afraid of heights or zero gravity.
Yeah.
I truly don't. I really don't.
I don't either, but I don't think you have to go to space to be an astronaut. I think you can be an astronaut and not have gone to space yet.
So are you trying to tell me astronaut is somewhat of a mindset?
Yeah, 100%.
Right on.
But,
I'm going to need a little bit more clarification on the fact that you don't think an astronaut needs to go to space.
Well, I'm not saying they don't need to go to space. I'm just saying I think you can be an astronaut and not have yet been to space. Like, I think if your name is
it's like saying you could be a sailor that's never been to the sea. The only thing an astronaut is categorized by in my head as far as lore, as far as childhood lore, what do you want to be an astronaut, is I get to go to space. That's like the bullet point. That's the one bullet point.
Okay, I'm with you. But what if someone What if someone has spent 3 years working with NASA, going in the G-force spinning machine and going in the Vomit Comet and learning about, I don't know, orbits and fuel burns and stuff like that. And their name is on the list to go around to the dark side of the moon in a year. Are they not an astronaut yet? Like, do you not get your astronaut card until you've actually taken off?
No. I think they have the world's weirdest gym membership at that point. That's sort of all they can really say they have. But unless you're in space.
Okay. So it's funny
like, too, because before you go to space, you're just a nerd. And then you get to like, you go past our friggin' atmosphere or whatever, and it's like, oh, he's a hero. He's an astronaut. But up until that point, it's like, he's a nerd with a weird gym membership.
Man, so this is exactly like YouTubers that call themselves filmmakers, isn't it? Like that person that's training to go to space.
Don't go there.
That person that's training to go to space is calling themselves an astronaut, and all the other ones that have been to space have been like, this kook over here is calling himself an astronaut. He hasn't even been to space yet. Is that the same thing? I think.
Dude. I think.
Like, are you not a filmmaker until you've made a film?
I think the goalpost for filmmaker has changed more in the last year than ever before, because man, how do I want to formulate this thought? You trapped me. You tricked me into talking about filmmaker.
I trapped you, but I think it helps.
Again.
I think it helps your point of view. Oh shoot, I'm losing you. Oh no.
No, I was thinking you're not losing me. I was just I had a real life lag, I think. Gosh. I think I was listening to Joel Haver talk about filmmaking, and I don't know if anyone has a low bar for what is and isn't filmmaking. Joel Haver probably has the lowest bar. He makes like sketch comedy videos and everything, and he's said he thinks if you've taken a Snapchat video, then you're a filmmaker. So his bar is a little bit lower than mine, but he had a really good point, which is that essentially the whole layout of film school is you go through the school, you have to make your like dissertation or whatever, which at the end of the year is like the one film you make. Your whole film school journey is building up to the one short film you make. And then you try and get it into festivals, because you've spent more than, you spent your whole freaking school career working on this one video. In your head, since you put so much effort into it, it's worth the Sundance or the Tribeca or the Cannes Film Festival or whatever. You enter into all these things. Then you find out there's no room for you in any of those festivals. They don't accept you into any of them, and then you quit. And then you start from scratch and you say, okay, well, I guess I'll just start from the bottom, and you get a job as a PA. And then as a PA, you basically work horrible jobs for years and years and years and years until hopefully someone gives you an opportunity to make the screenplay that you wrote 8 years ago in film school. And that is the classical definition of a historic filmmaker, is someone who goes through all that. And up until that point, they've only ever really made one thing. And YouTube is tricky because it's a new definition of the thing. It's like, I don't know, if you make a 3-minute video and you put your heart and soul into it, but you publish it and you make, I don't know, like 40 of those, is that the same as making one short film and taking 4 years to do it? I don't know. I just think the goalpost has moved so much, especially since YouTube filmmaking is like a full subcategory now. Like there are YouTubers who are very much like essayists or vloggers or whatever, but YouTube filmmaking is its own genre. And I've almost kind of changed my mind about this. And I think YouTube is filmmaking. I feel like I previously have not thought that.
Yeah.
And maybe the only reason I'm changing my opinion is because unless you're in space,
you're not an astronaut. Unless you made
that's
a
my
movie.
Monologue of the podcast. I'm done now.
Okay, you're cutting out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I got most of it. I'm surprised. We haven't talked about that in a while, because that is not what I expected your opinion to be about people calling themselves filmmakers.
I know. I feel like I've I've changed my mind somewhat.
Yeah. I think my caveat would be, if you're a student in film school and you make one film project and you're calling yourselves a filmmaker, that's probably a little soon to call yourself a filmmaker. Like if you, I think, I don't know.
I don't know,
me,
because if you do one painting, I think you're a painter because you painted.
yeah, that's true. I guess what I was getting at with that train of thought was, yeah, maybe like once you made that film, sure. But I think if you're a PA on set or whatever, if you're just an assistant on set for years and years, I don't think you would call yourself a filmmaker, would you? You would call yourself a PA or a aspiring filmmaker.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, I think that goes in line with what I'm saying, though, is that like the term filmmaker is such a like coveted thing that it's kind of a little gatekeepy in that way, where it's like, oh, you haven't been a PA on set. Oh, you haven't been a gaffer. Oh, you haven't been an electrician.
You haven't been to space yet. You haven't taken off in the rocket yet. You've only gone in the vomit comet. You've only gone in the G-force machine.
I think I have conflicting opinions about these two things because I don't know, like as far as, well, I gotta have to tackle these separately now. as far as the filmmaker thing is concerned, I think some of Joel Haver's videos have really been changing my mind lately, because another thing that he says is that if you are trying to keep people out of filmmaking because it's too crowded or there's too many people doing it or whatever, you don't want to see it become more and more of a thing. He's like, then you're on the wrong side of history, because if you are a creative person making creative work, then you should be only excited that other people are participating in this beautiful art form that's changed your life. And I feel similarly now about the filmmaker thing. It's like, I don't know, my whole shtick with the outdoor industry, let me open a third door, has been the outdoor industry is like mega gatekeepy, and they all say they're not, which is really annoying. And maybe there's a little bit of that in filmmaking too. It's like, maybe everyone is a filmmaker. What if everyone is? What if the answer is everyone? Everyone has a phone with a video camera.
Whoa. Dude, you know what's
Then
crazy?
what?
You know who made a video with that exact conclusion probably 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago?
I'm scared to ask.
Long before you said it, long before Joel Haver said it. It's a small little YouTuber known by the name of Casey Neistat.
Oh, okay. Whew, I thought you were going to say someone else.
Oh, no. Yeah, Casey, honestly, probably my favorite Casey video ever. Basically draws that exact same conclusion. It's talking about how like stupid the gatekeepers in the old guard is. And it's like, if you pick up a camera and make something, newsflash, you're a filmmaker or something like that.
Yeah. I think as I grow older and wiser, maybe I tend to lean more towards it. Not saying Casey Neistat's wise. He is old though. But maybe I'm shifting my opinion a little bit.
Gotta get his jabs in before he agrees with him. I feel like I am with you, and I've kind of been on that page more or less for a while, but I also feel like I personally like the distinction between internet filmmaker and filmmaker, only because of my personal aspirations. Like, I don't want to call myself a filmmaker until I've made something with a crew on a set that is
and a bunch of corpo dirtbags tell you it's good and sell it to A24.
Not even that. It can still just be a YouTube video, but I have not made a YouTube video that's a cohesive story with actors and a set and what I would call a production, you know?
So if you have a production and a crew and a set, and then you upload it to YouTube, is it not internet filmmaking?
Yeah, I think it is, but I just would feel more comfortable calling myself a filmmaker after that versus just calling myself a internet video maker or internet filmmaker.
Yeah, true. Sometimes I wonder though, okay, this is going to sound maybe a little bit self-congratulatory. Okay, so excuse me. But my assumption when getting into videos was that you had to know everything. You have to know lighting, you have to know sound, you have to know After Effects, you have to know how to shoot it and edit and everything. So I just have learned everything. And there are a lot of people who would need 5 people to do what I do. And that's not because that's like the historical way filming has been taught. It's just because I didn't know most people always work with teams and have an advantage of the sense of like, oh, we have a guy who knows everything about audio, so audio goes through him. And we know a guy that has everything to do with lighting. But what I think a lot of YouTube internet filmmakers sort of have not known while learning all this stuff is that one person doesn't do everything, and yet we do everything. Yeah. So that's why I feel like it's changing. It's like, the justification of saying, oh, I have a crew, to me is like kind of just like saying like, oh, I need a red camera. It's like, it's kind of just this thing that's expected. And I'm disagreeing more and more with the idea of needing all that stuff. I think like if you're leveling up big time and you have a big budget and a big idea and you need all that stuff, great. But I don't feel like I'm going to look down on anything I've made over the last couple of years because I didn't have a crew or I didn't have a producer or in fact, if anything, it's like, I'm probably more proud of the fact that it's independently everything that I have accumulated in my brain over the last 15 years is now coming into a place where people are like, oh, I love this. How sick is that? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like it minimizes what you already do so much to say, oh, I don't have a fucking gaffer. You already gaff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. You may have fully swayed me the rest of the way, because even then I would say that, the final hang up I would have is not feeling like at this point I haven't made any narrative piece. I haven't made something with actors. But even in that case, if someone only made feature-length documentaries their whole life, like a documentary isn't a acted out set thing, but you wouldn't hesitate to call them a filmmaker. So I think you're right.
For sure. And for you and against that point, for you and I's genre, it's like, okay, it's not documentary, it's not narrative. Like, I don't really know exactly what word you would use to describe the style of videos we make, but it's like, back, less than 100 years ago, like a narrative film wasn't a thing. So it's like, I don't know. I just kind of get the sense that's like, this is very new. All of this is super new. And if what we're doing has a name down the road and we look back and we're laughing like, oh, we didn't think we were filmmakers and we were making Scorpion style films, then I don't know. I just think it's also fresh. It's and new, and it's like YouTube in and of itself, like YouTube filmmaking, internet filmmaking. And this is completely different than what I originally thought. Like this time last year, I was on the other side of the fence. I did not expect
this to be your mindset.
I just think I'm seeing so much creativity and stuff happen on YouTube where I'm just like, how did they think of that? That's crazy. Then I'm like, this is art. This is fully art. And previously, I don't think I would go to YouTube for art. I would go to, and I'm even looking back on some of the stuff I like more, or I have traditionally liked more, like the Vimeo and everything, and all this big budget stuff. And it honestly is less interesting to me now because it's less like grassroots. It's less like, I don't know. I kind of like the term indie filmmaking. Because it's like indie music. It's like, it's gritty and it's shitty and there's mistakes, and I'm kind of into that now. I don't know. Yeah. And all of this like big budget, you have like the Ari Fresnel things that are sky panels on freaking cranes, and you're shooting a daylight scene at 3 a.m. in the morning and you have enough lights to make it look good. It's like, I don't know. It's not as scrappy, and I'm kind of into scrappy vibes now. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, all that stuff is sick. It still gets me really stoked. But what you're saying earlier is so true about having to learn it all. And I think for a long time, I really underestimated just how true that is. As someone who literally learned everything they know from YouTube and came from engineering, so I have zero background in traditional filmmaking. That's always been like a
I guess an insecurity and thinking like, man, I don't know shit about how a set works or anything. And anytime I talk to friends of mine that have made feature films or have worked on sets of big productions or anything, they're like, dude, you could do 99% of those jobs. If anything, spend 1 or 2 days on a set and you'll instantly get how it works. And like, you know, it wouldn't be that hard to pick up any of those elements. So, and yeah, I mean, that sounds really cocky. Not to say I would excel at any of those jobs. It's just that I would get it, you know? I don't think I would become incredible at lighting after one day on set. No way. I just think I would understand it and be like, oh, I know more than I thought I knew about that job.
I think the video you just uploaded today, for a lot of other people, would take a 5-man crew. But you have been doing this long enough and have been tricked into believing that you have to do everything yourself long enough that you did it yourself. And so therefore it's like, I don't think it's any less valuable because, yeah, I don't know. I think I've made my point, but I want to shout someone out. Okay. I found this really awesome YouTube channel, except he likes Mr. Beast, which is definitely a weak point. He talks about Mr. Beast a lot, but the channel's name is Jay Alto. And he made a video that was really good. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, back from Twitter. I followed him on Twitter when that was a thing.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I just recently found him through the godly algorithm sent me him. But
nice.
He made a video about predictions for YouTube on 2024. And one of his, I think I told you this off camera, but one of his predictions is that a YouTube video would get nominated for an Oscar for the first time this year. And reason being, the Oscars feel so stale and no one gives a flying shit what happens at the Oscars now. And a lot of views and attention are being spent on YouTube already, and they're going to try and chase where the attention is, just like, you know, cable television is chasing the streaming thing. And it's just like, it's a really exciting prediction to me, because if that's the case, then we're right about all of this. And this is a page turning in filmmaking, which is like, it's becoming far more independent. It's becoming far more possible to be a filmmaker as a solo shooter, filmer, editor. I don't know. I'm just I'm excited about this year. I'm stoked about the prospect of, like, your video that you made today is commercial worthy, I think. And I'm skeptical or I'm critical.
Yeah.
And I just think, yeah, just because you didn't have an electrician and a gaffer and a producer does not mean it's not. I don't know. I think if a crew made that, the whole crew would be stoked. So,
man, thank you.
The world's longest, most drawn out digital high five that has astronauts involved.
Dude, all of this gets me most excited for the fact of maybe potentially getting to be mentioned in the book called The Founding Fathers of Scorpion Filmmaking. That would just be dream come true.
That would be so awesome. It's forever now called Scorpion Filmmaking. Dude, how sick is that? Because I'm like so hesitant to say, oh yeah, I'm a filmmaker, but I'm like, oh yeah, I make Scorpion films.
I'm a Scorpo filmmaker. Yeah.
Dude,
I like it.
Scorpion films is pretty freaking high. There's some good Scorpion filmmakers out there too. Like, it's a rising genre, I would say.
Yeah, it is. Just hearing you say all that gets me so stoked too. And yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that's all good news of being able to, if anything, it's just it's like a mental block, you know? So often you like tell yourself that YouTube is only for a certain thing, but it's so exciting to be like, no, it could literally be anything you want. It could be a platform for feature length movies. It could be a platform for whatever. That's really exciting. It's such an obvious statement, but that's super, super exciting.
It is exciting. And it's also exciting that if you have a good idea for a story, even if your execution isn't as good as a Danny Gewirtz or a Hollywood production studio, it's a platform where if the story is engaging and good enough, then it will do well, which is so sick. Suck on that, A24.
That is really cool. And yeah, I was just thinking about Danny Gewirtz earlier when we were having this conversation, because I I heard through the grapevine that, you know, he hired this crew to make this feature length film or whatever. He brought on a crew for this feature film that he made last year, a couple years ago. And I heard through the grapevine that after the fact, he felt like he could do it with an even smaller crew. And it was already a very small crew by a feature film standards. But I think per your point, because he had been doing so much of it on his own on YouTube for such a long time, he had a producer hire this crew and then realize like, wait, I don't need that role. I can do that. I don't need that role. I can do that. That's just what I heard through the grapevine, but I feel like that's got to be true.
Well, I can't say it surprises me all that much because when I think about working with a crew, and because I've had the same feeling, it's like, well, it's not legit till I'm organizing a whole schedule full of people with lives and kids and their livelihoods rely on this thing doing well and all that. I'm like, well, why do I feel that way? Oh, well, because that's what the pros do. The pros haven't made anything I like in years.
Wow, you have not said a truer thing in this entire podcast history. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a great point. And another exciting point in all this is like, dude, just the way that YouTube makes the world so small continues to blow my mind. Like just how easy it makes it to connect with ridiculously talented people. And fun example that I wanted to bring up.
Name drop.
Name drop. Well, no. Do you happen to know there's a movie that I watch every year in the fall once the weather starts getting a little chilly, the leaves start falling.
I know this. Am I allowed to say because I know?
Yeah, you and I are usually filming Dialed over the summer, and I'm like, dude, as soon as I get home, I'm watching this movie. Do you know what movie that is?
It's ParaNorman.
Yeah, dude, ParaNorman.
Still never seen it, but I'm going to. I'm going to.
Yeah, it's like sickest stop motion film produced by Leica, which is like makes all of the best stop motion films. So the fun anecdote is SCHAFERS' latest video. I was just having a good old time snooping through the comments because I was stoked that the video was doing well, was stoked to see all the good things people had to say. This one guy left a comment just saying like, basically you're his favorite channel. He's never joined a channel so quickly. He became a member on your channel. And the dude had a ton of subscribers. So I went over to see what he does. He was the animator for ParaNorman. And he's a member of your channel.
What the hell?
Yeah. I go over to his channel and he has a reel of like him making animations for ParaNorman.
It's a simulation, dude.
I know, dude.
I did not know this.
Yeah. And how sick is that? The guy that moved the clay figures for ParaNorman is a freaking member of Shaffer Nickel YouTube channel.
That's so messed up. I did not know that. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't even know how to feel about that.
It's just
That's
so
exciting and horrifying.
Dude, well, I think it's just fully validates everything you just said about like we feel like we're this lesser than joke of a hobby, silly little YouTube boys over here, when like that's not the case. The guy that works on ParaNorman can find extreme value in the art that you make on your YouTube channel. So
that's so cool, man. Well, shout out to my guy. I didn't even know that. That's so wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me just put this out into the universe too. There will come a day when either you or I or us collectively will make something where we will both say, that was a fucking film, dude.
Yeah.
It will happen. It will happen eventually.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I'm looking forward to that day. You have just convinced me that I've already made films, but I know the day's coming where that I actually feel it after we make something like that. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, my last thought on that is just as an encouragement to anyone making stuff, like it's such common advice, but it's just so true that you never know who's watching, and who is watching is so much more important than how many are watching. Like,
oh, that's so true.
It would not be hard to make a drama channel, you know, just talking about whatever garbage YouTube drama and get a lot of views. Or you could make something that you care about, something you dumped your heart and soul into, and get way less views, but like you're gonna find your people doing that. And every single good work opportunity that I've had in my life has come like just from people seeing my work that I've thrown on the internet, not knowing what it's gonna do.
Yeah, for sure. It's a super powerful thing, and I think it's only getting more and more powerful. I do think the one disclaimer I have about it is it takes a really, 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 really long time. And it takes a lot of uploading and a lot of filming and a lot of looking at yourself in the mirror saying, why are you doing this? Yeah. That's the only caveat I would say is it's really hard.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And if someone says it's easier than film school, I disagree.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. It tests.
And that's coming from a guy with a business degree.
Dude. Hey, I worked in mechanical engineering for 5 or 6 years, and I have never done anything harder in my life than YouTube. It is so hard.
Man, that actually is like pretty satisfying to hear.
Yeah.
from the part of me that feels like I took the wrong life path. Loved hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, if it ever gets too hard, you can just drop out, go through engineering school, and get a job building robots. That'll be way easier than this, I promise.
Yeah. All right. Good to know. I gotta switch this degree. Wait, that would be envy. I don't know.
Envious of engineers. That's perfect.
Oh, true. Yeah. Boom. Oh wait, that's yellow. Nice. Well, I feel like that was pretty swag conversation we just had. What's next on the agenda?
What is next on the agenda?
You're so good at transitions. I'm just like, well, here we go. Buckle up. He's thinking.
I'm thinking. What's the thinking color?
It's cycling through colors.
I don't know. I don't know that I have any other lengthy topics, but we got some. I feel like we got some little micro stories we could talk about here.
All right.
But first, do we have a
microdose friends with Benedicts, everybody?
Yeah. Do we get a Schafer's pick of the week this week?
I can. Yeah, I watched something I really enjoyed. I don't know if it's like quite pick of the week worthy though, because it was made by a big stupid studio. But, but I watched. Have you ever seen Documentary Now? Like those like stupid fake documentaries by Bill Hader and Fred Armisen and.
Oh, I know of them for sure. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
It's pretty fun. Like. I'd seen all of them up until the most recent season, and I hadn't checked the most recent season out. But the first 2 episodes of season 4 of Documentary Now are they're so funny, dude. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was about this like world traveler, Nat Geo type filmmaker guy who is making this super boring documentary about like some like fish migration and this nowhere, you know, like civilization between Russia and Asia or whatever. And the network is trying to like double up on their directors, and so they ask if he can also film the pilot to this sitcom at the same time. And so they like build this stupid set for this show called Bachelor Nanny in the middle of like rural Russia. And they're trying to film both at the same time, and it is so good. It's so good.
Oh, sick. Okay. I'll have to add that to the list.
Yeah,
Man.
I haven't seen the rest of the season, but it's a part 1 and a part 2, and I really enjoyed it. And it's shot on film, which I love. So
sick. Wow, nice. Man, I'm so sorry to everyone that I've been failing on asking for Schaefer's pick of the week for a while, because
I've been failing on having it though. Honestly, it's been a dry season when it comes to stuff I'm stoked about, but I also haven't been watching as much. I already don't watch much, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wanted to get a couple updates from you. Have you watched Saltburn yet?
No.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I do. Just haven't.
Cool. Well, just so you know, you can watch it on Amazon anytime you'd like now.
You sound like an industry plant right now, but
I've been playing the long con ever since we first started hanging out. It was all a con to get you to watch a movie that would come out
Saltburn on
5
Amazon
years
Prime.
after we met.
No, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. Gonna watch Saltburn. Did you ever watch The Whale?
Yeah, I think we talked about The Whale.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. There's one other that I wanted to see if you'd watched yet.
It's not Avatar. It's not Oppenheimer. It's not Barbie. It's not.
Oh, Nathan Fielder's new show, The Curse.
No, but I need to. I want to.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've just heard such good things about it, which I'm not surprised at all, because that dude
He's a genius, yeah.
cannot miss. But it's on Paramount Plus, which who gets Paramount Plus?
Yeah. I'm sure glad I couldn't go to f2movies.com and stream it,
Yeah.
because that would be bad. That's illegal.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's a good list of things that neither of us have seen. In other news for Microdose Friends with Benedicts, for the 1% of people that care, Greg Menard's now on Norco. That's crazy. Next story
That is
in the
crazy.
news.
That is hyper niche.
I know. I just had to say it because that's insane. What a weird world.
Yeah, that is. That's what. Yeah, seriously.
I don't have anything practical to talk about anymore. So unless you have any practical topics, I can just dive into some stupid stuff.
Did we say anything practical over the last 47 minutes?
I
guess
dude.
kind of. The filmmaker
We decided
stuff
that
was
we're
pretty practical.
filmmakers.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's good. And we decided astronauts aren't astronauts unless they've been to the big beyond.
I don't know that we ever came to a conclusion on that, because you just gave this whole monologue about how filmmakers are filmmakers regardless of what they make. So what about the astronauts?
No. It's not the same thing, dude. It's not the same thing. Like, a sailor sails the sea. A filmmaker makes the film thing. And like what I'm saying is the bar for what that is, the bar for what is a film is moving, but it doesn't change the fact that you gotta make something. The astronaut guy just sitting in the spinny box of death is nothing. That's nothing.
What about cowboys, dude? These days, all you got to do be a cowboy is throw on a hat and wear some boots, and boom, you're a cowboy.
Don't get me started on cowboys. Dude, there's more cowboy cosplay in this damn country. I tell you what.
Oh man, dude, Cowboy Con is coming to Denver pretty soon, actually.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure there's actual cowboys at Cowboy Con, but I'm sure there's also a bunch of guys that just buy shit from Howl Supply that will also be there to buy Carhartt overalls.
Yeah. Yeah. Cowboy Con is
what's that Seeger, dude? Yeah, everyone's got like that like Seeger. Have you seen those ads on Instagram? You got like a Seeger hat.
Yeah, I have. That's not the same Seeger that we know, right? Because there's Seeger films. That's different than Cowboy
no.
Seeger, right? Okay.
No, Cowboy, I'm pretty sure Cowboy Seeger is just, that's Cowboy cosplay vibe. Yeah, I don't know. I have to be careful because first off, I'm a proponent of the cowboy aesthetic. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Also, a lot of my friends are cowboy cosplayers. Sorry, everybody. Hey, I have been myself, okay? It's something that happens.
Well, send them all down to Cowboy
I'm gonna
Con.
have no friends. I'm gonna have no friends because of this podcast.
Sorry.
No one will text me.
I just fully baited you into that, and I'm so sorry because I knew your feelings about cowboys, and I couldn't resist.
Jake says it a lot, but I feel like I need to say it here now too. I make fun of everything I love, okay? So if that's you, I love you, and it's fine.
That is true. And
there's humor in all things.
If there's one thing, this is like genuine, I'm not even joking around anymore. If there's like one of the biggest things that Shaffer has taught me is like being hypercritical of something, or you can be hypercritical of something because you love it. Like in many cases, being hypercritical of it is a sign of just how much you do love that thing because you want it to be its best form and you want to like expect everyone else to give it the quality that it deserves or whatever, you know? Like
yeah, for sure.
Being critical or poking fun at a thing doesn't just mean you want to throw it out entirely. You can make fun of something that you genuinely love or enjoy.
Oh yeah, the things I truly dislike, I don't even have opinions or thoughts on because they're just not even worth.
Yeah,
they're not. I think it's a huge form. I think it's a huge form of a compliment to care enough about something that it instills in you any emotion other than indifference. Mm-hmm. It's like it's hard to make people care about stuff, and if you're a cowboy cosplayer, you made me care about you at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. It's that classic,
you beautiful son of a gun.
Yeah, it's the classic, like, would you rather everyone just like if everyone in your life had to describe you, would you want them to just say like, oh yeah, he was really nice? Or would you rather them have like, you know, divisive opinions or strong emotions about who you were?
Oh yeah, he was really nice, but one time he said it was worse to dress up as a Nazi than it was to be one.
You did say that. Was that on this podcast or is that in real life?
Yeah, and I don't stand by that.
Oh man. Yeah, geez. Well, hey, just in case people need any more fodder for the fire, I played a board game called Secret Hitler with Shaffer over New Year's, where it's kind of like Mafia. One or two people are fascists and Hitler, and they try to not let anyone know, and everyone else has to figure him out. Long story short, Shaffer is real good at being a hidden Hitler and fascist. So
don't put that on me.
When he says, what's better, dressing up as a Nazi or being a Nazi? All I'm saying is he's really good at pretending to be Hitler. That's all I'm gonna say.
In this economy, dude, let me tell you what, in this particular world climate, that is not what you want to be associated with at all.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, kinda, but it's also slander.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I wish I wasn't already on red because I'd put it on red. Because I'm so mad that I was called I don't know. That's kind of a fascist color, though.
It's kind of the fascist color, you know?
Damn it. I can't win with this guy.
You better make it purple, dude. Purple is very neutral, you know?
Oh, Oh, pink is like definitely not fascist.
There you go.
It's kind of funny how close pink is to red.
Life. Anyway, next topic in the
Next topic.
next topic in microdose friends with Benedicts. If you have been considering buying a high quality Gore-Tex garment, good rain jacket, something like that, you should go do it in the next year or two, because turns out one of the main ingredients in almost every rain jacket, every Gore-Tex thing, every tech outdoor gear is like this really, really harmful forever chemical plastic that's getting banned in a couple years.
Oh, sick.
And
That's going to make that makes my video seem so much better now. My one about the outdoor industry.
yeah, yeah. But it's bad mostly for the byproducts at the factories. There's a tiny percent chance that wearing the jacket is bad for you, but like, let's be honest, we're drinking microplastics every day of our life, so I'm not that worried about wearing plastic. So that's it. The big problem with these plastics is in the byproducts. So you may as well go snag yourself a good rain jacket now while they're still around. And then if you hold it till you have grandkids, your grandkids will be like, no way, Gore-Tex? Gore-Tex was illegal 50 years ago. And you'll be like, that's
Dang.
right, son. I got an
And
original.
Be like, we've been wet ever since.
Exactly. We'll forever be known as the driest generation in history.
Dude, do you want to know a secret about rain jackets?
Yeah.
And I have no statistics to back this up whatsoever. It's only based on assumption, and I think it's pretty solid assumption. There's enough rain jackets that if we stopped making them right now, forever, we'd be totally fine.
Dude.
I strongly believe that.
Amen.
Dude, okay, I mean, this is a whole thing that we're like totally not qualified to have this conversation, but I feel that exact same way about electric cars. I'm like, my car was made 28 years ago, okay? My car has done more for the environment by the fact that I'm still driving it now than you buying a brand new mega lithium battery that's going to wind up in a landfill in 4 years. Don't talk to me about all this it's better for the environment thing. Ugh,
That is
it's so
also
annoying.
very, very valid.
Just buy some old stuff. If you need stuff, get old stuff. That's my new life. That's my old life
Hell
philosophy.
yeah.
I got
If
it
you
out of
need
a
stuff,
dumpster.
get old stuff. I love
Yeah.
it. Dude. Well, yeah. All that to say, go buy yourself some Gore-Tex before it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, dude. We used to just wear like
Wool.
sheepskin, like big,
Yeah.
like big soggy sheepskin, and we were just like, I don't know, it's the best. This is just fine. This is
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah, totally. Hey, I may as well just throw in my final microdose point while we're talking about the city I live in. I just wanted to poke some fun at my beloved hometown of Denver, Colorado, because I just love the perception of Denver versus the reality of Denver, and I'm sure you'll have some strong opinions on this. First thing I'm gonna say, this is a qualifier.
Okay.
If you're from the Midwest, or you're from the South, or anywhere else, and you move to Denver, and then you move to a mountain town and you start shit talking on Denver, I don't want to hear it. You have not earned shit talking Denver when you just happen to move here from the Midwest and then go to the mountains and suddenly think you could talk shit on Denver. You can't do that. Only I can shit talk Denver because I've lived here my entire goddamn life. Now, with that qualifier out of the way, Allow me to dive into my shit
Can I
talking of
shit
Denver.
talk Denver?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you've lived in Colorado your whole life.
Okay, sick.
I just think the perception of Denver is so funny because so many people move here with these grand dreams of being outdoorsy people and hiking with their dog all of the time and going snowboarding and just fishing in beautiful rivers, all of that. Mm-hmm. The reality of Denver is such an absolute wasteland, dude.
I don't know if even I would say that about Denver. I don't know. It's a wasteland.
Dude, it is, dude. Trust me.
Where you are, maybe, but...
Not even where I am. I was just reading an article about Rocky Flats, which is this stretch of land between Boulder and Golden. And Rocky Flats is this beautiful kind of flat plain right below
I know exactly.
the foothills.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Also, I don't know how many years ago, a while ago, it was a nuclear weapons testing ground. And the soil is permanently contaminated with plutonium. And
it is a wasteland.
Yeah, dude. And there is currently a whole bunch of big debates because they're trying to put a new trail through the Rocky Flats. And the debate is basically where to put it because there's so much plutonium contamination that they don't want people kicking up all the dust of plutonium dust and putting it in the air and infecting people.
Oh my God.
So that's crazy.
That's so funny.
We also have had air quality standards I think we implemented air quality standards in Denver in like 2004 or something, and the goal was to hit it by 2008, and we still have not hit those 2008 numbers in 2024. So it's just a disaster over here.
That is a bit of a disaster. That is a disaster. Okay, since we're doing a little bit of role reversal on this episode, I'm gonna now say some nice things about Denver.
Wow. Okay.
Because I feel like okay, again, maybe a little bit of a shift in my opinion here, but I think a place is, one, only as good as you make it, and two, only as good as the people that you're with there. So my experiences going to Denver lately have been so positive because when I go to Denver, I either go to hang out with you or I go to hang out with, family. A bunch of friends still live out there and everything. And we always do something super fun. And Waterworld is in Denver and Elitch's is in Denver. And so I think, I don't know, I think I don't want to be lumped in with the people that just like, basically, is I don't want to be lumped in with the people that only talk crap about it because it has a lot of redeeming qualities.
I've had a lot of good times in Denver. Waterworld's there, Elitch's.
Okay, well, there's stuff you can't do here. Like you could do there's all kinds of stuff in Denver I could never do here. And there's so many more food options. That's one thing that's like killing me right now. But the one thing I will say extraordinarily, I mean, I don't even have to qualify this. Denver is the spawn point for the cosplay cowboys.
Yeah.
Move from Oklahoma, buy some Carhartt stuff and a Seeger hat, grow a mustache. Again,
totally.
Dude, I'm in
that's why
with you guys.
Cowboy Con is held here every year. Cowboy Con is just what I call the stock show. But yeah, that's why the stock show is here in Denver. Yeah. Cowboy Con is where they're all born from.
Yeah. Dude, I've known people that I went to high school with and stuff that just went cowboy all of a sudden. It's just you just turn around one day and it's like, oh my God, he is a cowboy now. And I know that you went to Platte Canyon High School, my guy, which is not a ranching place. It's just it's basically the butthole of Denver. But I don't know.
But yeah, all that to say, I still, God, I love this place so much. And it's so true. Exactly what you said. Literally all of that matters is who that's around you and what you make of that. Because, yeah, like you said, anytime you come down here, we have the best time ever. Anytime I go up to your hometown, we have the best time ever. Anytime you and I are in literally any random place that we end up in the world, like we can, I know you and I both can picture how someone could build a good life there. You know, it's just,
For sure.
it's so much up to your own mindset.
Yeah, for sure. And, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah. I also think like, as far as like where I grew up in Bailey and then Gunnison and then Denver and everything, I have good and bad memories in all of those places. And I think that's going to be the case with anywhere. And it's a decision to say, I'm going to predominantly, or I'm going to stack the good memories higher than the bad memories. And, it's so fun to make fun of stuff, but yeah, I can't talk about Denver or Bailey or Gunnison without saying like, I love all of them. Mm-hmm. Places are special. Like it is who you're with, like I was saying earlier, and what you make of it, but also places are really special. And I don't even know what I'm talking about now.
I want to make a quick, I don't know, qualifier because I just realized I just said that it's all about your mindset, and it's not all about your mindset. There's obviously some places that are just like horrible and you need to get out. Like obviously that's a reality. If you're in a fucking like,
it's all about your mindset and how much plutonium there is in the soil.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying if you're in like a war torn, you know, dictatorship or like, so like it's not your
Damage
mindset
control.
at that point. Like, like get out of there, or like, obviously it's not all mindset, but at least, you know, in the places I've been fortunate enough to visit that are just, you know, perfectly fine places. In that case, like so much comes down to your mindset.
I don't know. A Buddhist monk might disagree with even that.
Damn. Yeah, true. Huh. But yeah, that concludes Microdose Monday, even though it's Tuesday.
Yep. It was great.
Thanks.
I think as far as apologies go, I probably would have to have a podcast length podcast to cover everyone I called out in this episode. So I'll just do one blanket. Maybe I'll just put a big apology blanket right over the city of Denver and call that good.
I apologize to everyone in Denver. Okay. Just Denver, huh? No additional apologies?
Well, like I said, I like kind of got lost in the sauce today.
Nah, you're fine. I'm sorry to Christina Hammock that the goddamn patriarchy is screwing up this moon mission and keeping you on the ground.
Yeah.
You'll be an astronaut
officially invited
someday.
on the pod.
Yeah, Christina
maybe.
Hammock, if you're listening, please come on to our prestigious podcast.
Stranger things have happened, man.
Yeah. Hey, maybe someday we can get ParaNorman animator guy on the podcast.
That would be really, really sick.
That would be sick.
I guess I have a pretty one-way ticket to asking him about it.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to say, please do me a favor and subscribe on YouTube, because I really just want to make Shaffer suffer for 3.5 hours to watch Avatar. So subscribe.
We'll start ending the podcast with apologies, and then you go subscribe, and then I go, no, please, God, no. Don't subscribe. Unsubscribe.
Just subscribe to get us to 1,000, and then you can unsubscribe again.
Yeah. Oh, also for the real ones, since only the people who really listen are going to care about this. This is what a Italian
Carbon
made.
Shaft Club?
That's right. This is
No
what a
way.
PS4 looks like, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Over FaceTime, it looks like a $3 piece of plastic.
That's so funny. It kind of does.
It's sick though. It looks sick. Well, cool, dude. Cool pin. That's awesome. Whoa.
Clubs, thank you. Okay. Amen.
Amen.